I would say, like, if you are really not confident, you could discretize your selection of colleges into three tiers. Like, some are like, what you say is like very ambitious colleges and universities, like the top 10, any ranking website, you just go and you'll find out what are the best chances of you having in. Then you go for some colleges within the range you could really think are achievable, and seeing at the past records of the students and the peers and your seniors, or obviously you would know someone, you can ask from them, how did you reach there, what was the GPA, what did you write, how many papers did you have, etc., etc. And then you could go for some colleges which you think are really easy to get. So you could just discretize into three levels, and yeah, number counts. So one of my friends, he applied for 20 colleges and he got six of them. So it's just a number game. So apply as much as you can, depending on how much money did you save for the applications. The more you apply, the more the chances are. So it's nothing to do. Sometimes it happens like in even the best departments, there are fewer applications and your chances increase. The other thing is like, don't have too much expectations, and if it doesn't happen, you don't get a PhD position, life is all gone. PhD is a long journey, and there are many successful students I've seen from the IITs, and I think if you want to go for a PhD, you should really start thinking of getting for a 5 to 6 year term of PhD, like what it happens in the Canada, what it happens in the US, in India, rather than going for PhD in Europe, which kind of gives a 3.5 year PhD. So you would have to do a lot of postdocs. Essentially, it levels down to an academic position or an industrial position. It counts number of years you did research on. So it really boils down to the number of years you spend being an independent researcher. So go for and don't see the reputation of the colleges as well. Go for your interest, the PI, and get as much as feedbacks from the lab as you can get. So if someone comes and asks me, okay, how is the lab? I would say, if you want to be this, if you are this, you are best suited for this lab. And if you're this, then you start searching for someone else lab, because this is the lab culture. So it's not only about survival. The first year of PhD is really about your focus on your survival. Once you are set for the next 5 years. So wherever you go, just have patience. You don't expect results to happen in a year. Sometimes you don't get even a publication in 2 years. Just nothing. Once it comes in heaps. So there are students who didn't get a paper in like 3 years, and then they've got the best thesis, six papers in the last 2 years. That happens. Patience is the real key here. And yeah, just get motivated. You need to learn how to self motivate yourself, and don't forget to learn. That's the entire thing. Even if you see the big professors, they became big because they're still studying right now, they're still learning from their students. That's the essential part. You need to keep on learning, be humble, and just help your fellows as much as you can. So by learning, demonstration is a form of learning. So if you're teaching someone something, you are going to learn from it, from yourself as well. So these are like my suggestions. Whoever is applying for a PhD, I would just say stay focused, and yeah,
Yeah.
save your money.
Yeah.
That's important.
So usually for US universities, we don't require to directly apply to the professors. We can directly go through the application process.
Yeah,
And
it's a waste of time applying to the professors, because your applications first go to the administrators, and then they read your SOPs, and then they find the real talents through their, and it's very discreet. No one knows how they get selected, but these applications never go to the professors. The professors are being intimated that these are the students. Now you hold an interview and select a few of them from the list of sorted students. So it's a waste of time writing mails to professors. But in Canada, you'll find few universities who really do this. And in Europe, it's mostly student to professor mail scenario where you
Yeah.
mail them, they find you good enough, they reply you, and that's how they take you. So in the priority, you should go for US, greater than India, greater than Europe universities. That's what I would say.
So, what's your future goal or scope? What you are aiming for after PhD?
In PhD, basically, what I think is we should not be too optimistic or pessimistic at the same time. So you let the work decide what you really want in life. So whenever you go for research, people do segregate them into either they would go for an industry or they would go for an academics. It should not be taken in that way because you don't know what is the end product of your PhD is.
Hmm.
So let's wait for the end product. End product in the sense, by the end of fourth year, you get an idea of what you're really capable of or where your research goes. It often happens to kind of everyone that you're asked to write an abstract for a PhD in the first year, what you want to do. And in majority of the cases, by the time you reach your fourth year, you see that abstract is long gone and you're doing something else because you find
Yeah.
something else. So you need to wait for that expertise to come into you, and once you get that, then you're capable enough to make any decision. Otherwise, it's a sign of incompetency when you think like you cannot just decide for a cricket shot beforehand the ball is delivered. So it's the same situation. So what I think is I should wait for one more year to see how it goes, and then I would really like to see if I would like to work with experimentalists in industry, or I would like to develop more theoretical models, or even further and get this thing into research. But for now, I want to concentrate on some of the aspects that I just told you what I want to do, and would see later what happens. So if you have good number of publications in a PhD, it's like anything above 4 to 6 first author papers is like you should really go for academics. And but that's not a kind of
Criteria.
line, but it's very difficult and very competitive to get a professorship position in academia, especially in the US. So people do tend to go to the industries a lot. So we'll wait and see what happens.